Oh yeah. It's tier time again. Uh gotta just ride that trend of YouTube tier lists. It's what every trash YouTuber does. Including me. Okay. I'm excited about this. So let's talk about tier lists, everybody. So as you can see from the title, this is post-August balance status slate. Really surprised they popped out one, but I think this was an emergency fix that needed to get things done. I also think they're kind of getting things ready for the new Kill Team season coming out in September. So, yeah, it's really cool. Let's talk about teams. All right. Well, let's talk about the nerf teams first. So, Chaos Cult. Well, before we jump in, obviously I threw all the compendium teams. I will add one or two caveats that... Where are they? Tyranids. I think Tyranids are A tier still. I would say Death Guard are here. And I don't think there's anybody else that I'd be willing to upgrade. Custodies you could argue, but no. I don't think they're good. I don't consider Into the Dark kill team, so that's my opinion. Anyways, so let's talk about the nerf teams. These guys were S tier, right? No question about it. Chaos Cult was destroying everybody, dominating the game. I think they're still a strong team, but I think they're now a balanced team. So I would probably put them there. Where is Gellerpox? Gellerpox has not been nerfed again. I don't know why no more people don't play this team. Probably because they're not easy to play, and probably a lot of the Gellerpox players went to Chaos Cult. But this team is still broken, and they're very, very strong. They're really difficult to deal with. And yeah, enough said. They're S tier. I think the reason why you don't see them dominating the meta is because they're not easy to play. Chaos Cult is an example of what Gellerpox would be if they were easy to play. And we saw how they completely took over the game. All right, moving on. Felgor Beastmen. I would say they went down to B. Possibly A. Like, I would say they're like either high B or low A. Specifically because they got nerfed. And they got nerfed hard. So I think you will probably see Beastmen rise back up into like A tier. But I think a lot of the people who are sticking to Beastmen right now are going to have to completely rethink how they play the game. And they're going to have to play possibly even different tac ops. Like maybe they're going to have to switch out a recon and go into more like seek and destroy and trying to focus on trading. So I think there's going to be a transition period with Beastmen where they're going to be really easy to beat for about a month until people kind of figure out what the fuck they're supposed to be doing with the team. So that's why I'm going to put them in B. I expect the team to be back into like A, possibly even going back into S tier. I don't know if I see them going into S tier. I think they'll probably just hover around A in about a month. But, I mean, we'll see. I mean, the entire Kill Team meta is going to completely shift in a month, too, with the new season. So, assuming nothing changes and the new season doesn't come out, a month passes, I expect them to go back to A. All right. Hand of the Archon, S tier. Team is fucking so good right now, man. A lot of the best teams in the game are Horde teams. Oh, sorry. These aren't Hand of the Archon. This is Corsairs. I mean, I might as well put them up there, too. Hand of the Archon and Corsairs are kind of the same team. in the sense that they play very similarly, right? They have access to the same weapons. They're both 8 wound operatives that are usually moving and dashing in their movement phase, or sorry, in their activation. I'm used to playing 40k. So they're really fast. They hit really hard. They're 8 wounds. They're good in melee. They're just an overall solid team, right? They just do everything. They both benefit heavily from Seek and Destroy being the best tac op archetype in the game. And they've just only gotten better over time. And I think you're going to find this team is going to start podiuming a lot, in my opinion. Moving on. Pathfinders. I'm going to put Pathfinders in A tier. I think they belong in S tier, but I'm going to put them in A tier. And the reason why is because there's still some fucking people out there that are playing Into the Dark. As soon as Into the Dark dies off, and I can't wait for that to happen because I absolutely hate Into the Dark. But as soon as Into the Dark dies off, this team is going to go back to being really fucking good. They got buffed in the last data slate with their Into the Dark, and I don't even understand like what the hell that was even supposed to do. Like, you can do guard actions with marker lights, and it's like, who cares? But anyways, yeah, so Pathfinders, I mean, I've talked about Pathfinders. Every other YouTuber's talked about Pathfinders. Everybody knows why they're good. And as soon as we get away from Into the Dark, I expect them to go to S tier. All right, so Phobos. Yep, right up there. Phobos is really good. The 2 teams that they started losing against got nerfed, so I would expect Phobos to be the best Space Marine team in the game. Novitiates, I would put them down to B tier. They get bullied by pretty much all the top tier teams in the game, specifically the Eldar teams. Like, Eldar, Corsairs, and Hand of the Archon just dumpster this team so hard. So I think these 3 teams right here will kind of suppress Novitiates. Genestealer Cult, I would put them at A tier. I think they're still pretty solid. They're usually not good into elite teams, and right now we're not in an elite meta. We're kind of in like a semi-elite meta where it's like the good teams are like 10 wounds, or sorry, 10 operatives, 8 wounds, like 4 up armor save. Like, that's kind of like the average like profile for a good team right now, and I think they're fine into that. All right, this is Intercession. Again, A tier. Possibly even lowered down into B tier. They took some pretty heavy nerfs, but I mean, the team's still pretty solid. They just kind of do what they want to do. Commandos, I would say, are another S tier team at the moment. Commandos are, like, they have 11 activations now with the Bomb Squig, which is really, really useful. The Inquisition just got nerfed, so they don't turn off just the scratch anymore. Commandos are pretty good into the elf teams because Commandos are in some ways kind of immune to shooting, which is why I put Tyranids up here, because I think 10 Genestealers is really good in the meta right now. So yeah, Hyrotech Circle, I would probably, I want to put them on B tier, but I'm going to put them on A tier, and I'm going to be generous. Hyrotech Circle has got some jank right now, and I think if you don't know how to play around the jank, you will lose to them. But I don't think Hyrotech Circle, so like, I'm putting them here, but I don't think they deserve to be on A. Because I think if you're playing against good players who are experienced and practiced against Hyrotech Circle and understand what they can do, like, you're going to lose. And that's just that. Lucian Starsiders would put up an S tier. No, that's probably that's my bias showing. I put them here. But like a high A. So this team's really good, and the change to the rotary cannon makes them like threatening again. So enough said. Blooded. I think Blooded is just vet guard. So I know I'm committing a sin for saying that, but that's kind of where I'm at. Speaking of vet guard, where did I put them on? I must have put them down here. My bad. I put them down and it does not exist. So sorry, vet guard players. Your team's still really good. Vet guard, I would argue, should be up at S tier, but I don't know. I don't think they belong up there, because I think the teams that are up in S tier are pretty good into vet guard, so that's why I wouldn't put them up there. Hyrotech Circle coming in from downtown. They're an A tier now. They're really good. The changes, they only got a subtle change in this last data slate, but they can now take recon while taking rubrics. So that's really cool. So now you can go 3 sorcerers and a Soul Reaper cannon, and not feeling like you're screwing over your team by doing so. So that's really cool. Hunter Clade, I almost want to put them in C tier, because they just, it's weird because they have so many rules and abilities, but they're such a like vanilla team. Like, they have a whole bunch of rules and abilities that just like don't amount to anything. And it was really nice when you had 11 operatives, because I felt like you could afford to make mistakes, or you could afford to play aggressive with the team and then fall back onto your Skitarii. But with 10 operatives, you just don't have the body count. And I think that that's shown since the team took their big nerfs at the beginning of the year, because you just don't see them win games. Inquisition, S tier. They're really, really fucking good. They did take some like pretty significant nerfs, but I think that put them into balanced territory. But I think if you're playing against an experienced Inquisition player, they're still going to just be really powerful. I don't know why orcs are here. Get fucking down into your index. Exaction Squad, A tier. I think they're solid. The changes that they've got have been significantly beneficial, and I think they're competitors in the game right now. Clowns, still S tier. They, for some reason, continue to never be nerfed. It's pretty insane. I don't think since this team's come out, they've never not been S tier. Kroot, I would say B tier right now. Kroot's pretty bad into Eldar. They're bad into Phobos. They're terrible into Commandos. They're terrible into Inquisition, and they're terrible into Harlequins. Basically, every team in S tier right now, Kroot do not want to fight against. If you eliminated these teams, they would be probably okay into the general meta, but because these teams exist, Kroot go down here. Hearthkin Salvagers, I'm going to put them here because I think they're an okay team right now. I could be proven wrong. I haven't got any games played in yet as of this video. So my opinion could change on that. I could see them going into A tier because they did get some really, really significant changes, but it kind of remains to be seen how well they adopt their new role of being like slow, durable Corsairs. I don't know if they can really fill that role. So if they can, they'll go up in A tier. But I expect the team to still be B tier, which I think they're playable, but like still on the weaker ends. I would put Khazarkin with them too, because I think Khazarkin are a good team, and they're probably going up into A tier when we're in an elite meta, but we're not in an elite meta right now. We're in like a mid-range meta right now, and they are terrible into a mid-range meta because when they're playing against like mid-range or horde teams, they kind of get stuck into either like a defensive role or they have to be making trades. And the problem is like Kazakans don't want to be making trades, like even trades. They want to be trading up. And when you're fighting another mid-range team, you're not trading up. You're just trading a 1-for-1. And so they often quickly run out of guys. But they're still a solid team. I just don't think they're good in this meta. And then I would put Legionnaires down here in B also. I don't think they're good in this meta right now. Elves kind of just shit on them. Phobos is really pretty solid into them. Commandos are good into them. Inquisition laughs at them. Clowns laugh at them. Like, I just do not think they enjoy life. And then Breachers are here because I just don't think you should play Breachers. Actually, I would actually put them into C team right now, because if you want to play Breachers, you should just play Inquisition. Like, Inquisition is just straight up a better version of Breachers right now, because you can take the Breacher operatives and you can give them far more support than the Breacher team can give them, because Inquisition gives them a plasma cannon. It gives them a basically a plasma gun with the Pistolier operative. You have fantastic stratagem support. You basically have the Grenadier grenade combo with the Mystic, and Quarry, I think the strat's called. So you're getting rerolls and you're getting the upgrades with the Mystic, so you can combo that. You have a comm still. Like the cat comboing with the plasma cannon is an extremely powerful combo. It's just so good that, like, I honestly would not recommend people ever play Breachers, because Inquisition is just a better version of them. So that's why they're down in C tier. So that's the list, guys. I think we're in a pretty healthy meta right now. I think the teams that are at the top are not unbeatable. They're very, very strong, but they're not like oppressively strong. There's a lot of teams that are like pretty solid right now. And then when you go into B tier, I would say most of the teams in B tier are like, you can win games with them. You're going to be punching up, and you're going to be struggling to win the game, but you can win games with B tier. And then I would say C tier is just like kind of bad. So anyways, that's my tier list. Let me know what you think. Do you disagree? Do you agree? Do you think I'm pretty awesome? I don't know. Why don't you go tell me? All right. See you next time, guys.